Few people know Saeed's situation better than our next two speakers. First is Mr. Hamid Ghasemi. In a case with strong echoes of Saeed Malekpour's case, Hamid, an Iranian Canadian, was detained in Iran in 2008 when visiting his mother and held in Evin prison. His brother Alborz was arrested at about the same time and died under interrogation in that prison. Hamid was convicted of espionage, sentenced to death following an unfair trial in the revolutionary courts, and we're all very happy that he was released in 2013. Mr. Ghasemi.
Thank you very much. Because of the short time, I'm going to make it very brief. Tonight, I want to talk directly to our politician, honorable member of the parliament. I spent 6 months with Saeed Malekpour, and he's an incredible person, very soft, gentle soul. We heard here tonight about the reopening the Iranian embassy here in Canadian embassy in Iran. That's not going to change anything in the condition of Saeed Malekpour. Saeed Malekpour needs your support directly. You have to be direct as a representative in the parliament. For 5.5 years, I was in prison. They closed the embassy in 2012, and I was released in 2013. So it can be done. It's got nothing to do if the embassy is open or not. If you be more proactive as a representative and push Canadian government to speak on Saeed's behalf, I can promise you he can be here probably sooner than next year to another event and speak on someone else's behalf. So I'm doing right now for him. And it's undisputable. I'm a strong believer, and I pay a great price to get this experience that I have. In past few years, we've seen, in my case, in Madame Homahoud Far's case, Mohammad Fahmi's case, he was released in September 23rd, the first day of the fall when the Egyptian president was landing in New York, or was landed in New York for the General Assembly. So, as my case, I was released on the September 23rd. So that tells us a message that as long as there is political pressure through the representative of our government towards Iran, we can achieve this task. It's a very difficult task, but it's doable. We can do it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, Mostafa Azizi is an Iranian-Canadian artist, writer, and on February 1st, 2015, while visiting family in Iran, Mr. Azizi was arrested on charges of insulting Iran's supreme leader and also spreading propaganda against the Islamic establishment. He was also held in Evin prison and sentenced to 8 years imprisonment. And again, we're very thankful that he was released on April 9th, 2016. During his time in prison, he was Saeed Malekpour's cellmate. He'll be delivering his remarks in Farsi, and I think Mariam has kindly agreed to provide translation.
Thank you very much, everyone. I'm so sorry I cannot speak English, but I think Mariam is here. من خیلی متشکرم از همه شما که کمک کردید که من امروز اینجا باشم و بتونم باهاتون صحبت کنم و امیدوارم که به زودی سعید بیاد اینجا وایسه و ازتون تشکر کنه به خاطر کاری که برای آزادیش انجام دادید.
I'm very grateful for all of you for speaking out for me when I was in prison, and I'm very happy to be here with you today. And I hope that Saeed Malekpour will be released soon so he can also join us here and also be able to speak to you.
روزها و ماهایی که من با سعید بودم طبیعتاً ساعتها میشه در موردش صحبت کرد. من توی چند دقیقه‌ای که فرصت دارم پیش از اینکه صحبتمو شروع کنم فقط میخوام این نکته رو بگم که بازجوی من هر روز بلا استثناء اول بازجویی بهم میگفتش که جناب آقای عزیزی ما حقوق بشر رو در مورد شما که نقض نکرده ایم. چرا میگفت؟ به خاطر اینی که میدونست که افراد زیادی در سراسر دنیا منتظرن تا دفاع کنن از حق انسانهایی که حقوق بشرشون نقض میشه. البته من بهش میگفتم که زندان انفرادی نقض حقوق بشره، حتی طبق قوانین موجود در ایران، که اون میگفت ما انفرادی تو رو میذاریم برای اینکه سکوت اونجا بهت کمک کنه تا بهتر فکر کنه.
آخرش متوجه نشدم. I spent quite some time with Saeed Malekpour in prison, and I recall my interrogator had told me, you know, we do not violate your human rights. And Mr. Azizi, I turned around and said, solitary confinement in itself is a violation of human rights. And then the last sentence I didn't understand. یه بار دیگه آخرین جمله‌تون رو اگر بگید. یادت؟ Sorry. Maybe it was a joke that I didn't understand. I'm sorry.
سعید وقتی که من پیش قاضی صلواتی رفتم بیشترین حملش برای این بود که من چرا از سعید دفاع کردم. سعید
When I went to Judge Salavati, who's one of the notorious judges in Iran, most of the attacks, most of the accusations he issued against me were about Saeed Malekpour.
به خاطر اینکه سعید خیلی بی‌پناهه در این که حمایت بشه از داخل ایران. تقریبا هیچ جناح سیاسی حمایت نمیکنه از سعید. از بعضی از زندانی‌ها که مربوط میشن به جناح‌های اصلاح طلب و اینا بالاخره حمایت‌های صورت میگیره، ولی از کسایی که نیستن توی این کاتگوری نمیگنجن از جمله سعید متاسفانه دفاعی ازش نمیشه و تنها دفاعی که میتونه ازش بشه دفاعی که همینجا خارج از کشور و به خصوص کانادا که در واقع
Saeed is a defenseless prisoner, and he's not a known prisoner like some of the reformist prisoners in Iran. So there's not many people who will stand up for his rights. So it's really important, other than us outside of Iran, like us who are here today.
وقتی که ما در زندان بودیم خبر اینو شنیدیم که قرار روابط سیاسی کانادا و ایران برقرار بشه، با سعید خبر رو شنیدیم، خیلی خوشحال شدیم، گفتیم حتما یکی از شرایطی که میذارم برای این برقراری اینه که سعید آزاد شه. حالا منم اون موقع بودم اونجا، امیدوار بودم کمک کنه برای آزادی خودم و امیدوارم این ادامه پیدا کنه، یعنی حتما روی این موضوع کار بشه.
When I heard that the Iranian authorities and the Canadian government were going to reestablish relations, I was excited about that because, I thought this was an opportunity for Saeed to be released from prison. And at the time, I was in Iran, and I was really excited about this, and I'm hoping that this will happen.
اجازه بدید که من مقداری راجع به روحیه سعید صحبت کنم. سعید فوق‌العاده، من نمیتونم تصور کنم. من خودم حد اکثر حکمی که گرفتم 8 سال بود و همون موقعی که 8 سال حکم میدادن میدونستم طبق موادی از قانون حتما این حکم نقض میشه، ولی سعید زیر حکم اعدام بود. زیر حکم اعدام بودن وحشتناکترین چیزیه که یک انسان میتونه تصور کنه.
I want to talk a little bit about Saeed's psychological state. I myself was sentenced to 8 years in prison, but I knew that it was probably going to be reduced. But Saeed Malekpour was sentenced to death, and the psychological implications of that are quite severe.
و من تصور میکنم سعید یک مورد خوب روانشناختیه که بشه روش کار کرد، از اینی که چجور ممکنه انسانی در چنان شرایط سختی روحیه چنین بالایی داشته باشه، روحیه‌ای که به دیگران روحیه بده و فردی که سراسر انرژی، سراسر شور زندگی بود.
Saeed is an incredible case study of somebody who has been under such severe pressure and intense pressure, and still he has such high spirits, and he even helps to inspire and motivate others. And so he would be a great case study to see, how you can be under so much pressure and still have such high morale or positivity, or passion.
یک خاطره من تعریف میکنم. ما اونجا با حدود 200 زندانی آفریقایی تبار همبند بودیم. 200 نفر از زندانیایی که با ما بودن زندانیایی بودن که آفریقایی بودن، کنیا، نیجریه، سومالی، انواع کشورهای مختلف.
Saeed and I were held in a section of the prison that consisted of about 200 prisoners from various African nations.
بعضیاشون انگلیسی بلد بودن صحبت کنن و یکیشون بود که اسمش، حالا اسمش نمیگم.
Some of them spoke English. One of them, who I will not name,
10 سال بود که زندان بود. وقتی که سعید اومد بند ما، از سعید خواهش کرد که پرونده اینو یه کمکی کنه، نامه‌ای بنویسه بلکه موجبات آزادیشو ایجاد بشه.
One of them was in prison for 10 years, and he had actually asked Saeed Malekpour for help to sort of follow up on his case.
و سعید گفت هر چی کاغذ داری، هر چی چیز داری، پروندت بیاد بده من نگاه کنم. و بعد توی اونجا نگاه کرد که 2 سال پیش حکم آزادیش به زبان فارسی صادر شده، ولی اون مترجمی که در قوه قضاییه اینا ترجمه کرده فرستاده برای اون سفارت غلط ترجمه کرده به انگلیسی و سفارت متوجه نشده که این آزاد شده که بیاد آزادش کنه. 2 سال قبل، یعنی 10 سال زندان بود، 2 سال قبلش.
So basically, Saeed asked him, gather all the documents and files that you have so I can, see what I can do for you. And then during that process, they realized that actually his prison sentence had finished 2 years before. And because it just wasn't translated and he didn't understand it, they were just keeping him in prison even though his sentence was finished. So just because he didn't know Farsi, right? Because he didn't know how to speak Farsi and he didn't have a translator. Yeah.
قوه قضاییه متن فارسی رو اشتباه ترجمه کرده بود، به سفارت فرستاده بود و نگفته بود که آزاد.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Iranian judiciary had translated the sentence incorrectly and sent it to the embassy of Nigeria, Kenya. And that's why he wasn't released, because it was of a wrong translation from the Iranian judiciary.
خلاصه سعید نامه نوشت و اون زندانی آزاد شد. 1 هفته بعد آزاد، یعنی ما اونجا بودیم که اون زندانی آزاد شد. یعنی سعید حداقل 1 نفر رو که ممکن بود تا آخر عمرش اونجا تو زندان بمونه، فقط به دلیل یک بوروکراسی احمقانه‌ای که اونجا وجود داره، سعید موجب آزادیشو فراهم کرد و آزاد شد.
Due to Saeed's efforts, this prisoner was released from Iranian prison.
شما دارید برای آزادی چنین انسانی تلاش میکنید و اگر تلاش نکنید چیزی بدهکار وجدان خودتون خواهید بود. هر کس هر کاری میتونه بکنه و برای آزادی سعید نکنه، چیزی از من خودم ممکنه دوباره به دلایلی برگردم ایران، ممکنه به دلایل این حرفایی که دارم میزنم دوباره برگردم اوین و مطمئنم اگر که دوباره برگردم اوین، دوباره تو اون شرایط سخت زندگی کنم، راضی تر خواهم بود از زندگی، برای اینکه احساس میکنم که تلاش کردم برای آزادی یک انسان.
If you take action for Saeed, you're taking action for this type of person who helps save a life in prison. And if you don't, it's really on your own conscience. And I may return to Iran, and if I go back to prison, I will be fine with it, because I know that I've been I've been, fighting for the release of someone who deserves it, and he deserves all our support. I'm really sorry for the bad translation. This was very last minute.
شما از کار هنری که سعید کرده متوجه میشید که این انسان چه روحیه‌ای داره. حالا من بعداً بیشتر خواهید خوند می‌نویسم راجع به شرایط سختی که ما اونجا تو زندان بودیم، چجوری زندگی می‌کردیم، چجوری و با اون حال سعید چنین کارهایی می‌کرد در داخل زندان. خیلی متشکرم از همتون. خیلی ممنون.
Once you see Saeed's artwork, you will realize what kind of person he is, and thank you very much.